Hello, it's Rodney Robinson again, and I run the group Pendulum, Dowsing and Energy Balancing. Today I'm going to do a little presentation on the subject of chart dowsing. This is particularly in response to a question that I received this morning, asking me how to use some charts that I'd added to the files section. The charts were on positive spirits. So before I tell you how to use those charts, I'm going to cover a little bit of information for the beginner on chart dowsing. The first question being, why would you use a chart? Why chart dowse? Well, there are two reasons. One is that, especially in the early stages of your dowsing, many people find it easier to obtain a response from a chart than they do from a yes or no response while holding the pendulum in the air to give them either a clockwise or an anti-clockwise response. For me, clockwise is yes and anti-clockwise is no. Other people have different responses, and I've covered this in a previous video. Probably one of the first charts that you're going to use, if you haven't used a chart before, is the simple yes or no chart, where you have a yes on one section and then no on the other. Traditionally, you place the yes on the side of your non-dominant hand. So when you download the chart from the file section, I think I did it so those two sections are blank, so you can fill your own yes and no in. I'm right-handed, so my yes would go on the left-hand side. If for no other reason, this keeps the dowsing response very consistent, which is always a good thing. Now then, let's get back to how to utilize these charts. Well, before I do any kind of healing, which these charts would prompt me to do, I check my Bovis value. So I'm going to use a Bovis chart. Again, these are available in the files section of the group. And I'm going to do this by holding the pendulum over the centre of the chart, and with the pendulum already in motion, give it a little help. You can ask your question, which in this case is, please indicate my present Bovis value. I'm pretty high energy today because that's on the 5 million mark of my chart. It is a very high energy place where I'm located, so you tend to find that people's Bovis values in this area are much higher than some other areas. But let's see if we can improve on that. I'm going to use the chart in question now, which is the positive spirit chart. There are actually two, so I'm going to start with one and then maybe go on to the other. So in the same way, begin with your pendulum moving a little bit, backwards and forwards, hold it over the centre of the chart and ask your question, which in this case is, in the name of the highest good, please indicate the most beneficial, positive spirit for me just now. Spirit of creativity. So I'm now going to swap pendulums simply because I like to use my favourite pendulum for sending energy out. You don't have to do this. If you've got a high vibration pendulum, you can use that for healing too. So for this, you just swing your pendulum and state your decree to send the energy out. In this case it is, I invoke the spirit of creativity and thank it for its presence. And as soon as the pendulum goes from circular to and fro, it's done its work. I'm going to check my Bovis score now with the Bovis chart and my dowsing pendulum. In the name of the highest good, please indicate my present Bovis value. and it's gone up to 10 million. Now, after you've done a decree from a chart in that way, you can either leave it at that, or you can continue with that chart. Okay, so you can now go on and ask, in the name of the highest good. Actually, I think I've just swapped charts. I'm going to stick to the same chart. In the name of the highest good, please indicate if there is any further positive spirit I require just now. Now, if your pendulum immediately gives a circular response over the chart, no further energy from that chart is required. So you can put that to one side. I'm going to try the other chart now just to demonstrate again from the second chart. In the name of the highest good, please indicate the most positive spirit, the most beneficial positive spirit for me just now. And it's settling down. You sometimes find that the pendulum will sort of scan the chart, go round the segments until it settles on one, and it's settled on spirit of unity. So I'm going to now use that energy to deliver that spirit to myself. I now invoke the spirit of unity and thank it for its presence. And it's going from side to side, and then it's done its work. Okay, so I'm going to now check my Bovis score again to see if it's pushed it up any further. In the name of the highest good, please indicate my present Bovis value. Wow, that's really increased. That's massively increased. And that's going right over to the right hand side of the chart. It's settling down. Kind of waving about a bit, but it's now settled down to 14 million. So that really has shot my energy right up. And, you know, energy is a little bit like giving availability of energy to someone. So now I have a lot of energy introduced into my energy field, which I can now absorb like a sponge, and over time my Bovis value will settle down. But initially that's created a very, very positive response, and I'm very happy with that. Now, I think that that has adequately demonstrated how to use those charts. But if I've missed anything out, or you've got any questions at all, please feel free to ask them in the post below. So add any comments that you wish, and please feel free to ask any questions, and I'll get back to you and answer them the best way I can. Thank you very much.